day. You're welcome to Morning Spring today on Western Spring Television, the week-ending edition of this program. We appreciate you for joining us again today, Friday, 17th day in the month of October, the month of independence. And thank you for staying with us, making us a part of your morning routine. On Morning Spring, like this, 7 a.m. every weekday, we look into very critical issues in the society, issues of national, subnational interest, issues of public importance is what we delve into, analyzing it, taking on critical stakeholders, holding those that should be accountable, and of course, is for this great nation of good people called Nigeria. Femi Ojo is my name, reporting for duty and TGIF. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
It's another day.
Yeah, but it's Friday.
Yes, it is, actually. Actually, it's Friday. And it's looking like a very good day already.
Absolutely, it is. It is a good day.
It will be.
Absolutely. Good morning to you, of course. Yes, you, our distinguished viewers. Thank you for joining us once again on Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. It's a beautiful Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. Anyway, the world is getting day by day in every single way better and better. No matter what it is you're going through. As Nigerians, sometimes we say we just survive. But again, if you look at everything, we have reasons to be thankful. We thank God for life. The fact that you still sleep, sometimes even with one eye closed, at least you still have some rest. So thank God it's a beautiful day. And it promises to be a great show. Here on Morning Spring, we bring you the best of news and information. And of course, we dive into critical matters, speaking truth to power, having interviews with stakeholders, matters that shape our nation. And we try to proffer solutions as well to the challenges we are facing. And we say it as it is. And that is what we do right here. Every day, every weekday on Morning Spring. Once again, thank you for joining us. Daniel Emeka is my name. It promises to be a great weekend. I can feel it already. And of course, we'll have a great time together, baby.
Right, and of course, talking about a nation building legacy, doing things rightly, it's safe to say, welcome to Professor Joash Ujuamubiton, who was confirmed yesterday, after a 2-hour session at the National Assembly. Actually, so
yeah, they spent almost 3 hours. Yeah.
National Chairman of INEC right now. And the man came with his promises and said, one of the things that he said for me is that during his time, losers will congratulate winners. That's part of what he said, meaning the process will be so open and credible that maybe there might not be reason for unnecessary litigation, in as much you see that things have been done rightly. And he said, identify some of the challenges. And in fact, even say he's going to review the 2023 elections and all of those things. Yeah, I think he has his slate very clear. He has the pen right now. The slate is before him. By his conduct and by his hard work, he has that chance to write whatever he wants on it right now, starting from yesterday. There is confirmation. So congratulations to him. But people really congratulate him starting with the next election in Anambra State.
November 8th. Again, Femi, he said quite a lot of things. I was just giggling when you were saying some of the things he said. Like he said he was going to audit 2023 general election. He was going to audit the IREF, that's the INEC result viewing portal, to know where the glitches came from and how to correct them.
2 years ago. Yeah.
But again, I'm not carried away as a Nigerian. I'm not carried away by anything he has said. Femi, it's just like someone who has gone, a candidate who has gone for an interview. They say whatever it takes just to get the job. So he was being screened. He made quite a lot of promises. He was going to audit IREF. He was going to deploy drones to secure sensitive materials for INEC. He said quite a lot of things. But again, we are not moved by that. We want to see results. Nigerians want to see results. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu made more promises. Okay. He gave us so many promises. At the end of the day, he did not fulfill most of them. Yes, he talked about IREF. He talked about the BVAS, the bimodal voter accreditation system. And these technologies that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu talked so much about did not work the way he told us they would work. So now it's not really about promises. He has to show us that he really means business. He needs to get on the ground. He needs to hit the ground running and prove to Nigerians that truly elections will be free and fair. And like you said, starting from the next election, which is next month in Anambra State, because Nigerians are working. He also said he will set up an ethics committee, to check the activities of INEC officials. So quite a lot of, laudable plans that he has. But again, it's all about implementation. Planning is easy as far as I'm concerned. Anybody can plan. It's all about execution, implementation. And that's what Nigerians are waiting to see.
Right. You have, spoken well on that. The only angle I would say is using an analogy when candidates go for interview, they say the best thing ever
Absolutely.
that they can say so as to land the role or the job. And, as well, won't take it away from the fact that there are some candidates that go for interview and whatever they are saying, they mean it. They can do it.
Absolutely.
Actually. But for Professor Munkwiton, he has never worked at INEC before. He's a professor of law, 58 years old. He has been an academic.
Yeah, vice chancellor of Unijust.
So far, actually. But then, I think, in as much Nigerians have...
Sorry, Femi, deputy vice chancellor, not vice chancellor.
In as much Nigerians have... And by the way, he said to so many things. I like his calm and his demeanor, actually. Many things I didn't put up, especially his primary education, that people are already saying all of those things. He said it. This one Kogi said, actually. And all of those things. He laid it to rest. And he talked about, answered questions about if he has been involved in taking briefs from politicians, from Asiwaju Tinubu, from PDP, from P2B. And he said, never has he been. And in fact, he said, for the purpose of that interview, he got the certified true copy of 2023 litigations and all of those things, and he brought them for whoever is going to say he was part of them, so that we leads the council and all of those things. But away from that, promises are being made, actually. Just like his predecessors too made some promises that possibly they didn't fulfill, citing glitches and all of those technicalities. But then, that's what I said. He has his chance right now. He has spoken. The best thing we can wish him is all the best, actually.
Absolutely.
We wish him the best. And he has the chance to write for himself, whatever. Now, history will be the one to judge. When people say, may history be kind to you, it's just a wish, actually. History will not just pick on you to say, oh, let me be kind to this and let me be cruel to this.
History is what we make it.
It's what you make it, actually. And sometimes, as well, depends on who is telling the story. And that's why people, when they are leaving the service, they write a book. Tell your story by yourself. Because after you are gone, many things might be muddled up. And it happened in Africa, actually, because some of our stories are being told that people are not Africans. So there is a narrative that Africans are now trying to change. This is not who we are, and all of those things. But then we wish him all the best. He has said he's going on a fact-finding mission into the past. How that is going to happen, how far he can go with that is a big thing, because whatever he said he has discovered, now possibly today, he will have his way. I don't know, maybe he did that. But today, possibly we'll go to the headquarters of INEC. And then he has to win the battle within.
Absolutely.
That's a big one. Apart from the pressure from politicians, there must be some persons, I don't know, who have nominated him, actually. Because I'm not sure President Tinubu was just Googling. I was searching and said, let me pick this one. No. Somebody must have spoken to somebody. Somebody must have recommended somebody. Possibly there is a committee who are vetted, who listed before they come up with that particular. How is going to, go about that is one thing. The battle within the INEC itself is another thing. Because as we're having people who are willing to work, there will be people who are used to sabotaging. Absolutely. That is where they eat. That is where they feed. Absolutely. They're always waiting for the next cycle of election. How do you win that battle? Now, the trust is another thing. Because you can't take away the politics from a place like INEC.
Yeah, actually, you talked about it, regaining the public trust.
Yeah, that's one thing. And by the way, I think it's a good thing to know that there is a trust deficit.
Absolutely.
I'm happy that you recognize there is a trust deficit. Not that the other people that have left have done utterly bad job, but then they have left a huge gap that he is coming and he will have his chance with this next election. We wish him all the best, because one of the things that he said that I see you giggle about is the issue of winners, losers congratulating winners. You know, it's one thing for him to wish. It's one thing for him to work assiduously to achieve that. We have a nation. Is that our culture? The people of Nigeria. Because the kind of election that we do is winner takes all. Winner takes all, actually. So we as a people, do we have that mind that if actually I can win, these guys really done well?
Well, if the elections are free and fair.
Because it's not just about him alone.
Yeah.
The 1993 election that didn't go to litigation and all of those things of Babangana Kingibe and
Tofa.
Abiola, being deputized by Babangana Kingibe and Bashir Tofa from Canada the other side, I judge the best. That is 32 years ago. That is not the same Nigeria that we have right now. In fact, at that time, we didn't have 36 states of the Federation.
Absolutely.
Actually, maybe 27 or thereabout at that time, or 30. Now, here we are. This is a brand new Nigeria. I'm talking about we as the people of Nigeria. Are we built? Are we in that place to concede defeat? If actually we have even lost fair and square? Because there are some persons that will tell you, we go run them. You know, there's that thing. Okay, no worry. We will run it. Well, so it's not just about INEC alone. Nigeria,
about the people,
our people, our psyche. Are we ready to let it go? If actually you see that, oh, I've been beaten. Let me prepare for the next one. Well, because that will not be solely based
on INEC. Yeah. Again, I think it's all about the way he's planning to carry out his job.
Yeah.
If he can prove to Nigerians, if INEC can prove to Nigerians beyond any reasonable doubt that the elections are free and fair, and that way perhaps he believes losers will be able to congratulate winners and say, oh, congratulations, you won. If he can convince Nigerians beyond any reasonable doubt that elections are free and fair, perhaps we'll have something like that in Nigeria.
Hopefully, we will get to that point. All right, so many things have been said, and, you know, it's a decision. I'm talking about the presidential pardon list. The federal government said yesterday he's been reviewed.
Yeah, it's still on the review.
As well. And many persons are wondering.
That's because of the opera. You know, a lot of people are complaining.
Opera, actually. Yeah. But then, do we trust the federal government, this review thing, to really bring out anything, or it's just to quell whatever problem? You know, there's a way you just, if your dog is just barking somehow, pardon my analogy now, you just throw something to say, to stop shouting.
Then at the end of the day, by the time they finally release them, we won't even know.
That is if anything is done.
When the dust are settled.
Because it's not the only thing we are talking about right now. By tomorrow, something else will come up. By next week, something else will come up. And everybody will forget. Before I know what's happening, the world have moved on. That's just the thing. But some are saying, oh, okay, who are the ones reviewing? Lawyers. Why did you release a list and then you are reviewing it? But some will say,
mind you, it has been approved already by the Council of State.
It has been approved, that's one thing. But they said even there is a committee that worked on that, made of eminent men and women, crossing across religious bodies, lawyers, people, and all of those things. One thing I know is these that is being said to be reviewed, no matter what is being called clemency, there will always be that people in which they will feel this is unjust to us. That's just the thing. But the only issue here is these high-profile cases that Nigerians are aware about. They are aware. Maybe if this has happened 30 years ago, because there's no social media, you might not get to know. If only NTA is the source, bringing that thing to you, so many people will not even watch.
Nigerians will believe whatever they tell us.
Some people will not even be, you know, that's just the thing. But then we'll talk about that in the course of the program today. But for now, the papers are in and they're very interesting. You can afford to miss it. By the way, we are live on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television and be me live on our Facebook page at Western Spring Television as well. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. I'll start from the Guardian newspaper for today, Guardian. All right, and quite a very busy front page, but very interesting as well. Quite very busy, yet interesting. Here, big story, pages 4 and 5. More music, less manifesto. The Guardian has that. There you go. More music, less manifesto. How praise singers override party agenda, scorecards at rallies. How praise singers override party agenda and scorecards at rallies. And then you see the pictorial depiction of these. The big man, having a time of his life. And somebody is singing, on your mandate we shall stand. Okay, the people that has put this together, they should better be mindful of what. All right, that's just
but that's the reality.
That's it. Actually, on your mandate we shall stand. That's 2 times, and somebody saying we're laughing. Oh God, this is what. And
you do for me, I do for you.
Laughing, in colloquial, that's a slang, meaning you cure madness with madness. And the other side, you say you do for me, I do for you. You already know where that is coming from.
Oh, yes, some weak.
And the other one is responding as it depends them. He did sweet us. And I'm liking it that this is coming on a Friday, so that
exactly.
But that's just the reality.
Yeah.
That instead of scorecards, instead of agenda, what we do is music. And actually, it's just the way it is. On your mandate, you cure madness with madness at one side. If you do for me, I do for you.
I love
agreement is agreement.
I love that madness song.
As they paint them, they sweet us, and then the politician, as you have on your screen, is beaming, with this larger than life attitude. And the thing is, some persons are happy, like some of those bands now that follow Governor Wike around.
Exactly.
In fact, they left Port Harcourt, they have followed him to Abuja. They are cashing in, they are happy. But the thing is, beyond all of those pettiness, where is the agenda? In fact, by the time they are done with this, nobody in the crowd will even be allowed to say, let me ask a question. We will dance away with caps, with vests. This person for second time, this person for first time, and it's lost on that post. Somebody will just come, tell you, the people that were there, have they done well? The crowd will echo, no. Do you want him? Yes. We'll do, you know the cliche. Roads, water, salaries, and all of those things. Your life is about to change. Vote for me, I vote for you. And as the man is saying it, the Indiedeba will raise it.
But it's quite unfortunate that majority of our politicians do not have agenda. They lack agenda. And here's how I mean. Even right here on this platform, we've had politicians, and I've asked them that question. What is your plan? Do you have a plan? Do you have a roadmap? Do you have a blueprint? Yeah. But unfortunately, so far, up till now, none of them has been able to give me cogent answers to say that this is what I have. The last person
we had was saying there is a renewed hope agenda from Mr. President, so they will be working towards the renewed hope. What? And I remember, the question was asked in 3 different forms. What he kept saying is, he has a plan for his people. And all. What is the plan? I have a plan for my people. We work together with the renewal agenda to give Nigerians a life that they deserve.
It shows they are not really thinking about the people.
And it's not only that person from that party. The previous person we had said the same thing. You didn't. The person said, you didn't even give me, you didn't tell me that you are going to, you remember?
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that you are going to ask this question. I will ask my director to bring the details. And that's the man in charge. That said he's in charge.
Oh boy.
It's just the thing. Now, that's even the people that are in office, but this one is, okay. I wish we had seen this before. All of those sound bites. And I hope maybe a producer, you can please help us with all of those.
Yeah, we can do a mix.
All of it, actually, one after the other, so that we round off with it. Our people will understand what we are talking about. That is just most of the times the pettiness and the shenanigans. But unfortunately, or incidentally, that's what the people just want to know, because some of them even feel if they have agenda. So the agenda of some of their senators, representatives, 4-point agenda, the governor's 7-point agenda. There is this term or something in Lagos or stew or something. The one here, we're not even sure. Buhari has 7-point or 3-point agenda, and all of those agenda. By the time the thing is not agenda,
they just turn to rhetoric.
What are you going to do? Nothing. And somebody will tell you, now wait till we go shop with that. So, in a kind of a way, we ourselves are enablers of terrible governance, and we have Nigerians have settled to they have received that as their fate. Like, that's all. And that's why whenever these people come around, everybody wants to grab something because they believe if you are not taking that, you will end up not getting anything. Or the guy will just come with this mega empowerment. That's what they call it. In 4 years, he will come with one mega empowerment. The ones we call Erwata, grinding machine.
We know some of them now, buying wheelbarrows and shovels.
All of those things. There's even a governor in the north who empower people with wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Customized wheelbarrow.
Real empowerment.
Actually. Now, that's it. Moving on, heavy reliance on oil, domestic debt exposed Nigeria to financial risk, IMF warns. I'm not saying that as a warning if you ask me. We all know that. And NMA says Kanu fit for trial as Ohaneze group advocate dialogue. Here we go. Presidential pardon under review, says AGF as Macaulay's family pushes back. Talk about today, and yesterday was the commemoration of the World Food Day. World Food Day, federal government taxed on support for local farmers, equitable distribution. I remember, today is Friday, so there are so many things that we can do. I remember there used to be a minister when they were talking about food, and the minister under Buhari and was so confident, and he said, food security, we are so secure that everything is in abundance. In fact, go to Kano. With 200 naira, you'll be filled. You'll be filled to the brim. Don't let nobody deceive you.
Did he say it on a Friday?
I don't know. Meaning what?
Maybe it was high.
That's what he said. If you Google it, Nigerians can remember. He said, with 200 naira in Kano, you're good. I'm telling you. That's just the thing. And we've seen the ministry. Was it not the same Ministry of Agriculture that they were organizing personal prayer like a few months ago?
I think we should go on fasting for Nigeria.
All right, so that the spirit will go and farm. The spirit will protect it. The spirit will water it. The spirit will harvest, and the spirit will take it to the farm on terrible roads. All right, and defections, legal disputes, rock PDP as APC governors project strength, unity in KB. APC governors project strength and unity in KB. I'm sure Nigerians are used to it to say you are projecting strength in KB. By weekend, the strength will move to the other side of the divide. And aviation expert Kik Askalu accuses pilot of smoking marijuana. Actually, that's
pilot.
Yeah, I don't know the proof that Senator Oji Uzokalo has by saying, smokers, because that's a former governor, two-term governor, and of course, senator of the Federal Republic, who one will expect that should not throw such words around carelessly just because we want to make a point. If a pilot can't be high and is supposed to fly high.
Why? That's it reminds me of a particular movie where the pilot is drunk. I mean, he pulled some stones. Extremely good, talented professional, but again, he was a drunk, so he does crazy things. So for such positions that are sensitive,
that's a movie.
Exactly, that's
Senator
a movie. Now this one is real life. So just imagine a pilot who's high on marijuana. Just imagine.
I'd rather not imagine. That's just, and this should be taken up actually and investigated. And if the senator is right, I think we should just do the right thing. And if he's wrong, it should be taken up. You can't just throw such words to say pilots they high. That they
he has to show evidence.
You can't just, especially if you have said that at the plenary, at the hallowed chamber. Also, some will argue, is that chamber still hallowed? That's one thing. All right. The chambers where they say, let's go to that. Obi, wicked trade words over 2027 presidency, capacity to lead. Quite interesting, actually. An NBA Spidel, police agree to review tinted permit policy. That'll be all from the front page of The Guardian.
And from The Guardian, we move to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, decision on clemency not final. FG, decision on clemency not final. That's coming from federal government. Of course, the federal government is saying that the list of those pardon is still under review, and that decision is not final yet. Let's just wait to see if there will be any changes whatsoever as far as that list is concerned. Recall that the president granted pardon to about 175 individuals. But now the federal government is telling us that no one has been released, that decision is not yet final. So let's see, perhaps we'll be having some, changes, tweaks here and there. Or better still, maybe they're just waiting for the dust to settle, just like we said at the beginning. Well, Nigerians are waiting to find out. Just keep your fingers crossed. Away from the banner headline, moving on to other stories. Still on the first page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Troops arrest wounded bandits, destroy camps in Kogi. Troops arrest wounded bandits, destroy camps in Kogi. You find details of that story on page 18. Away from that, 2026 Hajj, Saudi Arabia slashes Nigeria slots to 66,910. Saudi Arabia slashes Nigeria slots to 66,910. That's talking about 2026 Hajj. Quite a lot of people going on this Hajj. Even 66,910 is quite, a huge figure. And this is just after the slash they're talking about right there. Nigerians are religious anyway. Nigerians are religious. But again, where has it led the country? Away from that, moving on to other stories, still on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Why our governors are defecting. PDP. Why our governors are defecting. That's coming from the PDP. You might want to read up details of that story to know why PDP governors are defecting. And of course, there are still rumors that more governors will defect. Right now, the PDP has only 8 governors left. And let's just see how many PDP governors will be left at the end of 2026. Away from that, Senate confirms Amukmito as INEC chairman. Senate confirms Amukmito as INEC chairman. Of course, he was screened yesterday at the Senate and he was asked to take a bow after rigorous screening. And Femi, I do sincerely hope that after this screening, because he has been screened by the IG, the Inspector General Police Office, he has been screened by the Department of State Services, the DSS. He has also been screened by the EFCC, that's the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. I do sincerely hope that after this screening, that maybe much later in his into his tenure, no one will come out and say, oh, there was a particular mistake in his PhD thesis. He didn't do this, he did that. So we just hope they did their job thoroughly this time around.
That's important. So that it won't be after 6 months or 3 months, somebody will bring something up, and then we are back to this square of, oh, let me resign.
Exactly.
And then I'm honorable. No, you won't be honorable.
Absolutely.
We wish him all the best.
Yeah. Away from that, still on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, on the bottom strip, Ulama rejects Christians' genocide claim. Ulama rejects Christian genocide claims. Still on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, talking about the rejection of the claims that Christians are being targeted in Nigeria for genocide. Away from that story, 3-year-old baby raped, murdered in Jigawa.
What?
3-year-old baby raped, murdered in Jigawa. This is quite bizarre. This is bizarre. 3-year-old baby raped. How degenerate can a man get? 3-year-old baby. How hard is it to get sex? Why would you rape a 3-year-old baby? I don't think this is ordinary, Femi. Some will say, in this part of the Nigeria and Southwest, they'll say it's maybe it's a spell.
Yeah.
Because this is quite bizarre. 3-year-old baby being raped. What pleasure? Femi, what pleasure would a man derive?
Purposes,
exactly.
Actually, that's a mad person there.
What pleasure would a man derive from a 3-year-old baby?
Wicked person there. Yeah.
And it's not enough to just, convict this person and send him to jail and he'll be there cool enough being fed by the federal government. People like this should face serious punishment. Castrate them, remove their teeth with pliers. Serious punishment just to serve as deterrence to other people. Someone is giggling, but this is quite horrific. Yes. Quite unfortunate one right there. And I'm just wondering how the family of that baby would be feeling at this point. This is quite bizarre and unfortunate. Away from that, finally from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, killings continue despite truce in Gaza. Killings continue despite truce in Gaza. You can read up details of that story on page 14. And President Donald Trump, I saw a CNN report this morning where President Donald Trump said if the killings don't stop in Gaza, he would go in and kill Hamas. That's what he said. You know, he has threatened that all hell will be let loose if they don't stop. Now he has given them another warning that they just have to stop. And let's just hope that we have lasting peace in Gaza.
Last question.
And that'll be all from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Daily Trust, let's check the Vanguard for today, the front page of the Vanguard. And it reads, INEC, in my time, losers will congratulate winners. And this is the part we are supposed to shout very big, 3 amen. Amen, amen, amen. INEC, in my time, losers will congratulate winners. Amupiton. You know the name is quite instructive in Yoruba.
Yes.
Amupiton.
Yeah.
Amu domidodo. It means someone, you know, that history will be written about.
Exactly.
Or somebody you use.
We'll tell a tale about it.
Yeah. Somebody you will use to speak about history to others, actually. So he has his work cut out for him. His name.
Exactly.
Supposed to.
Yeah, I thought of that yesterday.
Yeah.
I hope we don't use him to quit.
I hope will be the real story that will say, oh, there used to be one, after I studied actually, one INEC chairman that did so brilliantly, and it will be used as history, as lessons, good lessons to others, actually. So, wish him all the best in my time. Losers will congratulate winners. You know, we hope we get to that point in which there will be a goodbye election. And the person that loses will say, you know what, guys, let's stand down. Let's prepare for the next election. And we wish you all the best. The winner, and the winner will be magnanimous in victory to know, oh, I've just run the battle of my life. And so I'll be on my toe to do more. And that is wish. The last, no matter how chaotic, how divisive, how whatever, the last presidential election in the US was, there was no litigation.
Absolutely.
No, nothing.
It was clear. Yeah.
Actually, okay, with all the whatever of Mr. Trump and whatever is known, whatever was known about him or still being known about him, and
Kamala Harris
and all of those things, everybody moved on. You get ready for the next time.
Absolutely.
That's the way it should be. And we hope we get to that point. Not that, you know, everything we end up at the Supreme Court and all of those things. Right. And they are right as to that. The first one says, get Senate confirmation as INEC chairman. And, you know, when they were really, I saw the CV that the man brought. It was a brochure. It wasn't go. It was like you are going to buy a mini textbook, actually. And in fact, one of the senators, I think Ojuzo Okalu saw it and said, when he saw Amukpit on CV, it felt like going back to school, actually. But you know, that's politicians talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't hold that to them. But that's one man that has done well.
Yes, he has done well for himself.
58-year-old professor.
Yeah, but again, like I said before, and I'm saying it again, what we need now is not academic credentials. The most important criteria, the most important credential for that position is integrity and ability to deliver. There's no point in being a professor if you can't conduct free and fair elections. We've seen professors rigging elections in Nigeria, so I don't really care about those academic credentials. What we want is results. We want credibility. We want transparency, and that is what really matters as far as elections are concerned in Nigeria.
Then we won't downplay that the best of us should lead the rest of us, actually.
And they should lead well.
And lead well. Integrity, credibility, that's the hallmark of whoever is going to occupy any position. But then academic qualification should be encouraged as well. And that's just it. So that it won't be that, you know, the irony here is the person that will occupy, and in this case, I'm occupying now, INEC, that's the body, the umpire that will birth, that's the midwife of this particular birth or every birth as far as the election process is concerned. They have always been professors, although there is no constitutional provision that says they must be professor, but you expect somebody of high intellect, of good qualification, who has a grasp of what he or she is doing, of course, with integrity and all of those things. We have been having professors, and this is the sixth one since the turn of democracy in this republic that we are right now. But then the person that the baby or the beneficiary of that labor, the baby that will be birthed, especially at Guba level, at presidential level, all he or she needs to have, is SSC certificate that he needs to attempt. He doesn't need to pass, just attempt. But the person that will birth, the midwife, we're having professors. But the person that will be the governor, that will be the president, the requirement by the law is SSC certificate that you don't need to have 5 credits in anything. Just attempt. And that's the irony. And that's what we think. And people say, I think anybody can be president, anybody can be this thing. But the person that we teach in our schools must have NCE.
Yeah, that's the point.
And all of those things. So what are we doing? The person that will navigate the path. SSC. No need to pass.
Yeah, Femi, the bottom line is that you don't need to be a professor to be a good leader. That's the bottom line.
But then there are some positions. Now, why can't we say the person that will be INEC chair should just have SSC certificate? Will you agree?
Well, I'll say a first degree is enough for anything in this life. I mean the greatest leaders in life.
Hold on. My take on this matter is, I agree, integrity, number one. And you don't have to be a Christian or Muslim or graduate to have integrity.
Absolutely.
If you have integrity, you have integrity. But there is a reason why everybody goes to school, for skills, for knowledge. There are some persons that be at home, no matter, there is a part of integrity, there is a part of capacity. That's one thing. That's many argue for Buhari that he had integrity. In fact, that was one of those things that they said about him. But how about capacity? Integrity doesn't do the job at times. Is your character will make you do the right thing.
Minimum.
Of course, for skills, these are the issues. Imagine if the INEC commissioner, the INEC boss, national chairman, will be a SSC school cert holder or first degree holder, and he will be national chairman in those places that you have PhD holders and you have professors and you have lawyers working in that particular place. And people say your mouth no go reach talk.
No.
So I'm not saying you must be a professor.
No, Femi, I think we need to clear this.
Yeah,
see,
please.
Being a professor doesn't make someone more intelligent. No. The person was just patient enough to sit in school. No, it doesn't make... Being a professor doesn't make anyone more intelligent. No. I've seen undergraduates who are smarter than professors. So I quite disagree with that. No, it happens. Being a professor doesn't make... See, Femi, any average student can become a professor. I repeat, an average student can become a professor. You don't have to be a genius. Anyone.
And you don't become a professor by being an average student. That's okay. There is a way.
It is consistency that makes you a professor, not intelligence. It is consistency.
So why do people want to be professors? Why do they want to be professors?
It's their choice.
I'm just saying.
For instance, as a person, I have no desire, absolutely no desire to be a professor.
That's you.
So because I know it will make me smarter.
That's you, based on opinion as well. Yeah. Being smart is relative. I understand what you're saying. But you can't say the knowledge and not even intelligence now, the knowledge gap, or the knowledge rather of a professor is the same as a degree holder in spheres, in career. Actually, let's say somebody who is a medical doctor and all he has done is to emerge as a medical doctor, and you think the skill and the knowledge that person will have will supersede or will be the same thing as a professor of medicine? No.
A professor of medicine is a teacher, okay? A doctor.
Some of them don't teach
in practice, exactly.
They are practicing.
So, for instance,
that person will not have the same knowledge.
In industry, for instance.
As somebody who has an MBBS.
If you go to industry, oil and gas, banking, engineering, practice is more important than academic qualifications. When they practice, those guys on the field, those bankers on the field, those oil and gas professionals, those engineers, they are more knowledgeable in practice than professors who are in school.
Now, I agree. But do you understand that where they are practicing as well,
that's the industry
they still get more certificated.
Yeah.
While they are practicing, they still add more knowledge. Because many of them still go to school.
Femi, Nigerians generally love validation. That is it. If you are good at what you do and you don't need validation, you don't need to be
I think we should go back to the papers. But my point is, if I can, I'd rather be
good for them. Good for them. But again,
than be just
the most important credential remains integrity and ability to deliver on the job, not being a professor. One can have a PhD and still be an idiot. It happens everywhere.
I don't know about that. But you can't want to be a degree holder, or you want to have some things. I understand the place of skills, and, you know, intelligence and all of those things. And there are some persons, there are some of our parents that you grow with that you know that, if only this man goes to school.
Absolutely. This
because he's
person will be way
intelligent,
more-
he's
absolutely,
brilliant,
yeah.
but there's something lacking that he doesn't have. And these are some of those things that we are talking about. All right, so moving on. Users' rapid data depletion threatens telecom sector growth. Users' rapid data depletion threatens telecom sector growth. Data depletion, you know, we say the moment you get 3 gig, 10 gig of data in 2-3 days, it's gone. But don't, when you call some of those telecommunication customer service, they will tell you, check your data, user, whatever, interface on your phone. You will see that, oh, God, you are the one that use it. But the thing is, sometimes the thing can be confusing because you going on Facebook or you know, some of this social media page for like 20 minutes and you just refresh. Before you know what's happening, they are telling you that you recharge these things, you know, have gone really down. And you have radars that are saying sectors $1 billion gain at risk. Subscribers accuse telcos of manipulations, threaten class action. Telcos dismiss allegation as baseless. All right. And you have that picture of the new sheriff in town as far as INEC is concerned, Professor Joash Ojo Amupiton from Kogi State, 58-year-old professor of law. But on Street Rivers revokes 134 billion naira contract awarded by eBay's. Others refund. When I saw this yesterday, I was feeling, hope there won't be trouble in Little China again now. Rivers revokes 134 billion naira contract awarded by eBay's. Others refund. Okay, because the administrator did that actually, and now the man who has come back, the state under him has revoked that particular contract. Oh, trouble. No go happen.
Absolutely. Talking about rivers there, rivers, you know, the state has always been riddled with drama.
Rivers of drama. 2027 APC moves have taken over INC, Scribe cries out. 2027 APC moves have taken over INC, Scribe cries out. All right. And sports, 2026 World Cup playoffs, 14 billion windfall from FIFA with NFF if they qualify. 2026 World Cup playoff, 14 billion windfall from FIFA with NFF if, you know, I like to pause quickly here. I was, you know, researching and following the road to USA, Mexico, and I think Canada for next year World Cup, right? And I realized the Super Eagles blew their chances of qualifying one time, actually, as the, you know, the leader of that particular group. See, now, do you know what will happen? 4 countries are being highlighted in Africa to give a go against themselves. Now, Nigeria against, I think, is it Congo or thereabout, Gabon, or one of these countries. And then 4 of them, A and B. First match, 2 nations, the other one, 2. So if actually you win, the other team, I mean, the next team that will win, the first match, you have to win. That's Nigeria. Super Eagles, you win. And then you wait for the winner of the other match. You play again and win and emerge. The winner, after the 4, will now travel.
Another region.
Either the Antarctica or South America to go and face, somebody is touting Bolivia, actually. And when you get through with that, that is where you can now say you are ready for the World
that's
Cup.
why I said it's not guaranteed.
You will, it's not just about guarantee. You will suffer.
But thankfully, our first opponent should be an easy one for Super Eagles. I mean, the Gabon. We should.
Unfortunately, the 4, they are not pushovers again, actually. Because at that point, you know, at that point, it's not just
struggle for survival.
You are struggling for survival. Exactly. That means you have another chance at qualifying for that particular mundial. Okay, we hope they will take that chance as well. Firstly, while we have not released inmates pardoned by Tinubu, AGF, suicide takes center stage as Vanguard 3rd Mental Health Summit is today. And National Grid loses 4,091 megawatts in September. Loses. Where did he go? All right. Then presidential pardon. Macaulay shouldn't have been lumped with ex-convicts. That about Macaulay, actually, because his own wasn't about him. And that's that you know, clarification that's supposed to be put. The way about Macaulay's pardon came was the fact that the current government of the day feels he was unjustly done by. So it's more like exoneration
Exactly.
for him.
Not
really
as if he was a criminal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not as if he was a criminal.
And one can understand. You are talking about pardon. You are making it to look like
and you are lumping him along with criminals.
It's exoneration.
Convicted criminals. Yeah.
Actually, you see many sides to that particular pardon right now. And that'll be all from the Vanguard for today.
And from the Vanguard, we take a quick look at the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch newspaper, under pressure, Tinubu may drop controversial names from pardon list. Under pressure, Tinubu may drop controversial names from pardon list. Still talking about the presidential pardon granted to 175 individuals. We just talked about that a couple of seconds ago. And now we understand that Mr. President may drop some names, some controversial names from that pardon list. And Femi, one name that Nigerians are really hoping he will drop, one name that stands out that perhaps the most controversial is that of Mariam Sanda. Mariam Sanda. Nigerians are really wondering why she actually got that pardon. So let's see what names Mr. President might likely drop from that list. Below that, we have a rider. AGF probes presidential pardon list after NDLEA, ICPC please allege name smuggling by committee. Quite interesting. Femi, we're having allegations of name smuggling by the committee. So which means some names might have been smuggled in. But how can a name be smuggled in considering the high level of, I mean, this is a high level list here. It has gone through so many agencies.
It is.
DSS, police, EFCC, ICPC, and now these same bodies are claiming that some names have been smuggled into that list. I think the presidency should look closely into that. You might want to read up details of that story on page 2 of the Daily Punch newspaper this morning. Away from that, still on the front page of the Daily Punch newspaper, the Punch newspaper, I beg your pardon, not Daily. This is not Daily Trust. So it's just the Punch newspaper. Nigeria missing as IMF lists Africa's fastest growing economies. Nigeria missing as IMF lists Africa's fastest growing economies. You find details of that story on page 29. Away from that, Abure taunts OT-led LP faction over infighting. Abure taunts OT-led LP faction over infighting. You find details of that story on page 7. Military declares war on new terror group. Military declares war on new terror group. Wulo Wulo. How do you pronounce this one? Is this Wulo Wulo or Wulo Wulo? Whatever they pronounce it, I'm saying this one for the first time as well. Military declares war on new terror group Wulo Wulo, or whatever you like to call that. You find details of that story on page 43. New terror group, not again in Nigeria. Anyway, the military has declared war on them, and let's just hope they succeed in that war on the terror group. Away from that, PDP crisis, court freezes convention plans. PDP crisis, court freezes convention plans. You find details of that story on page 43. Recall that members of the PDP, of course, who are allies of Wike, actually took the party to court, saying that trying to stop that convention. And now I think they are making headway as court has freezed the plans for the convention. And this is not looking good for the opposition party, talking about the People's Democratic Party. Away from that, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, INEC to review lecturers' roles as Senate confirms Amokwiton. INEC to review lecturers' roles as Senate confirms Amokwiton. You find details of that story on page 2. So let's see what exactly INEC intends to do when it comes to the role of lecturers in the body, Independent National Electoral Commission. Away from that, moving to the bottom strip, Hajj, Saudi Arabia slashes Nigeria's camp slots to 67,000. Hajj, Saudi Arabia slashes Nigeria's camp slots to 67,000. You'll find details of that on page 44. Man burns ex-girlfriend inside Oyo barracks. Man burns ex-girlfriend inside Oyo barracks. You can find details of that story on pages 4 and 5. Femi, I saw the shock on your face. Man burning his ex-girlfriend.
Well, that is a jealous lover or love gone wrong, or sometimes you wonder how does the people that profess love of my life, all of us those if I can't see you, I can sleep, all of a sudden cross that line and they become sworn enemies, and not just sworn enemies. One wants to eliminate the other, actually.
Because it was never love in the first place. It was never, what people call love is never love. That's it. It was never love. Sometimes it's infatuation. I mean, sometimes
well, I think it doesn't happen in a day,
love.
actually. Yeah. Maybe things have happened, and some have said the most passionate lovers, actually, can really be a deadly one if something goes wrong. The most passionate. That's why they call some crime.
It becomes fatal attraction.
Yeah. There are some crimes that are called crime of passion, that that this person did this not just because he wants this person gone. He did it to exact something. You feel it, and it's quite terrible, actually, inside the barrack in Ibadan.
Quite unfortunate.
You
quite
people should also be very careful with these lofty.
Anyway, for those who believe. Okay, let me leave that. Away from that, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Finally, from the Punch newspaper, bandits kill 5 policemen, 3 guards, I beg your pardon, in Zamfara. Bandits kill 5 policemen, 3 guards in Zamfara. You find details of that story on page 42. And that'll be all from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. That also brings us to a conclusion of the newspaper review segment. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we dive into critical matters. Join us again.